This is the way these boys and girls can climb a tree so tall. But they come climbing down again when they hear Daddy call.
North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia. Kangaroos hop in Australia, and penguins water in Antarctica.
Okay, ready? You? A.
I'm singing from short of the glory of God. Romans 3:20.
B.
Believe on the Lord Jesus Christ and thou shalt be saved. Accepting God you want.
C.
Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Ephesians 6:1.
D.
Depart from evil and do good. Psalms 34:13.
E.
By doing.
Today I want to share a bit about circle time and how we do memory work with my young children. It's been really neat to see that some of mine, by the time they're 3, they pretty much know like Psalm 23 by heart. I haven't maybe always kept it up. You know lots of songs, you know lots of verses, and we're still growing and learning, and I know there's moms who have done better about this with me. But circle time is a simple way to implement memory work with your young children, whether you homeschool or not, though I use it as part of my homeschool day in homeschooling seasons. And sometimes I use it even when we're not homeschooling, when I just want to work on some little issues on the side and memory work and things. So during our school mornings every day, we have a time called circle time. The first thing when we all come together for school time, and we all sit in a circle in the living room. That's where the name circle time came from. It's called different names, I think. It has different, but it's all the same purpose of all coming together to learn something together. I got these ideas first through JDA, and I will link her information below in the description box. And then I've tweaked it and adjusted it for my own family. And we've been doing circle time off and on, not all year round, but off and on for 3 to 4 years, I would say, I think. And it's been a big blessing and been so much fun for me. It's something that can be informal, and yet it's helped us so much with simple things like memory work. Usually during the school time or whenever, I'll say, okay, come for circle time, and we'll gather in the living room and we'll say a prayer, usually to start the time. And then I'll get out my red box, my circle time box. It's one of these index card boxes, and you can use, I'll have some link below too that you can get if you want. I think this one was just given to me by someone, but I want to show you a bit how I use it to give you an idea maybe. And then you can, like I've done with other videos, just adjust it to suit your family and your family's needs and yourself and your children's needs. This box has the first section. I got these little dividers here. The first section is poems and songs that we have learned already. I like different songs. We have English and Spanish songs, like there you see a Spanish song. We also have some poems we learn. Let's see if I can find one here. That I go over. I don't always have a new poem in line. All Things Bright and Beautiful. We really like that one. So, that one we know by memory. We don't have it. Often I have it, like this one, For This New Morning and Its Light. I have it written on the back so that I can, if I forget it myself, then I can find the words. But we learn the poems by memory right now. We're working on, I use mostly index cards, but I'll link them below too, so that you can get some if you want. But right now, like, now we're learning this poem, If, just by sections. It's a pretty long one. If by Rudyard Kipling. I like that poem very much. We're learning it by sections. It's not like that to learn very fast at this age, from 6 and under, but it's good for me too, because I am half learning this stuff, even if my brain isn't as quick as theirs anymore for memorizing, especially if I'm thinking of other stuff. But then we almost always have a new song and a new poem right at the beginning of the box here. So every morning when we do circle time, which isn't every day, but every day that I can make it happen, then we do that first. And whenever there's a new one, I put it in the front. And then what we do is, once we've learned it well, it goes in the back of the box, of that section. And then I keep rotating through it. So we practice the new poem and the new song, and then I pull out the next one or two after it, depending on how much time we have. And then we'll plant a little smile. We'll learn that or practice that song, review it. If we don't know it good, if we've forgotten it, it stays right there. If we knew it well, it goes to the back of this section, in here, in the back of the first section, so that everything is constantly rotating. See, and we keep getting review on the stuff we've learned already, and that's why I really like the system. The next section is for new songs and poems. So I have some written here that I want to learn, and if we wouldn't have any new ones, I could skip this section and just whenever we needed a new one, make a new card. But like the song Dare to Be a Daniels one, we did practice last year, but it's kind of like a new one now because we never learned it. So I have the first word or two of each verse so that I can remember it myself, because my memory's not perfect either. And that'll be one of the ones we'll come to eventually. And then like that, it's a rotation, and I really like it because they get review and I get review. So that was the second section, is the new ones that we haven't learned yet, that we will get to. And once I don't have any new ideas in there, I'll probably take out that section and just keep it for just whenever I need a new one, get a new one and put it in front of the first section. The third section is the verses we're working on. Now, these were some things someone gave to me, but I'll link them below because I really like them. I found them later. They're from Rebecca. They're ABC verses. And so we have learned right now, my two oldest, my 5 and 6 year old, we're working on S. But it's each letter with a verse. And what I do is I start with them. I tell one of them to do A, and they know it by memory. And sometimes some of the references they still mix up, and that's okay. And we just review it, and then I go to B and C, and then at the end we're always learning the new one. And as soon as they know it well, that they can say it by memory, I don't always worry about if the reference they don't know it totally well, but at least the verse. And it goes in the back, and we get out a new card, and they learn it. Behind that third section comes the fourth section, where I have future verses to learn, because for me memory verses learning is very important. So I have here the ones that are missing of this group, and then I have some others that, well, one could do index cards, but also I'll have linked below the Charlotte Mason Bible memory. It's free. It's a whole packet of a whole bunch of verses like this, little cards you print out and cut out. And actually this idea for this box came from them, because they also have dividers. They have their own system. You can find all that information linked below and study it up, and I just adapted it to my needs, but a way of reviewing for the rest of your life, reviewing all the verses. And there's lots and lots of verses they have on cards here, lots of sections that we haven't gotten to yet because we're still working on the ABC verses. But then I want to start working on these. On Psalm 23 is one of the first ones. They knew it at one point, but I've kind of, this year with the baby and everything, haven't kept it up, so I'm sure it'd be easy once we'll start again. that'll be the first one we're going to review. I do have these cards just because I want to, the index cards, I want them to also learn the verses in Spanish. Right now we're not working on it very much, but I do want them to know because this is their country and the language that gets spoken in church services and everything. And so I want them to not just know in English, but English is still easier for them. For now, we're finishing up these. Once we don't have that many more to go. I don't know. I think we'll finish these this year. Our school year here is within one calendar year, but this doesn't exactly go by the school year, though I tend to stick with it more during the school season. But even in vacations or whenever, depending on the situation. But I think this year, in the last 3 months, we have, well, maybe not. we would learn these, and then my plan would keep on being to review these, because it'll be a little while till my 2-year-old is ready for them, because I have some other flashcards for her. But then we'd work on that, and then on other sections of memory work. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th section is just other skills that I want them to learn. Like, it's kind of the stuff that doesn't necessarily come up in their school books, so some of it does. But one thing we learned this year was the sign language letters. I don't know if on the video these words are back, or these flashcards are backwards or not. But anyway, you get it. We had learned my 6-year-old at least, and myself, we knew all the sign language letters. Now we have to keep reviewing them. The 5-year-old, maybe she didn't, and the 2-year-old didn't, though she really tried hard. But this is just for random skills. The last section here is for random skills and things I want to teach them, like the continents and the oceans. I like if they know that. It makes geography in the future much easier for them. So when it's time for that card, like, we usually are working on one, and then we review 1 or 2, and these all are ones we have known. They know all their continents and oceans at the moment just fine. So whenever we get to this card, we just review it with a map, and then I put it in the back of this pile. Sign language words that we have learned that we know, like please and thank you, and it's more like for baby sign language, but I try to keep adding their signs. Water, potty, all done. The numbers from 1 to 10. I love you, that kind of stuff. I have for Spanish words, because they learn Spanish as they play and so on, but I also want them to, some of the basic stuff that maybe they haven't caught on, I try to just find it myself and review it. They learn their address and the phone numbers of their parents. Again, some of the stuff is a bit over their heads. My 6-year-old can learn them, but the others haven't yet, and yet since we're constantly reviewing, I know they'll get better, and that's how we can work on it. One that I really like to do every so often is a safety one, and it's where I go over what they should do with strangers, things like here in our area and so on. When the door is closed and someone knocks and I can't go, we have a little window beside our door, so I tell them never open the door unless you know who's there. They can look out the window and see, and if it's someone they know, I tell them they can, if not, to tell me, and I can go and attend to it myself. I teach them about calling 911, and I hope these are things they never have to do, especially at this age. But I want them to start understanding what it works for. And I tell them, for now, I do teach them 911, but I'm teaching them to use my phone. Like, they don't have access to my phone a lot, but to be able to call their dad and message their dad. And also we have a couple of trustworthy neighbors that I say, if I fall down and I'm unconscious or something, well, what should they do? I just tell them the basics of what they should do. They should try to call their dad, probably, but also they're welcome to run over to this one neighbor that's close by, which they never run over by themselves, but I say in a situation they can, and tell her to come and help out. And because they're that young, that's probably safer and quicker than trying to call their dad or call 911 and things like that. So I teach them also directions and position, north, east, south, west, and checking with the sun position to know where they are. Just to eventually help them. Let's see, what are some others? Oh, the manners one. I like to go over that once in a while. What are table manners? How should you do when other people are around? Shaking hands, smiling, answering questions. Like when my parents are nearby. I've said that before. They're not required to do all of this to strangers, especially if their parents aren't around. There's safety included in that too. This would come up in their schoolwork eventually, but I also like to teach them days of the week and months of the year. Just for whatever reasons, for interest reasons. All the full names and birthdays of the family, just so they know everyone's birthday. It's not that they know all of this, but it's stuff we're always reviewing. Along with the safety one that I mentioned before, it comes what to do in an earthquake, in a thunderstorm, what to do if they're lost somewhere. And I know I can never prepare them for everything in life, and a lot of the stuff I have to leave in God's hands. I remind them they can always pray about it. But I believe these basic skills, just reviewing them once in a while, could help them someday, and it's not like a lot of work. The last section is for empty cards that I have, and also future ideas, because I have different places collected, different ideas of things they could learn and memorize. Like somewhere years ago, I collected this sheet. Oh, it looks like it came from Sunlight Curriculum, but I just have the paper about practical skills checkoff list. So some of this I haven't gotten to yet, but I will eventually get to it. What to do in case of fire, what to do when getting lost, evacuation plan, animal safety, poison awareness and prevention, basic skills, how to fix a bike tire, how to shut off water at the house, like the main water system to turn off all the water. Just things like that we hope to eventually go through. It's not a certain set amount, but I like to know that I'm working at equipping them for whatever they may need. Oh, here in the back you can see that Charlotte Mason system. I'd at one point gotten this ready, and so I've kept them here, but it's not that I really like it. But they have, for every day of the week, they have this. It's a free printable that you cut out, and then you can make I laminated them, and then you can make them for every day of the week, for every day of the month. There's different cards. So maybe with all those ideas you can somehow find the information that you need, or find something that would help you out to do your own circle time with your children. It's a fun, lighthearted time together once they're older, depending how old. I don't know how we'll do it, or if we'll do it or not, because obviously this is at the moment geared more towards preschool to 2nd grade or something like that, and so on. But maybe I gave you some ideas that could help you out, that you might enjoy, because it's something I really enjoy doing a lot of the time, and it's good for me, and I know that way we're working on basic skills, but I want them to know that it might not take time for otherwise. So thank you for listening. What are some ideas you would have to add, or what is something that has worked for you? And we'll see you in the next video.